Good morning, fellow Tbcians. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're watching from. My name is Solo.amahaotu, broadcasting live from Lagos, Nigeria. I welcome all of you to my broadcast number 122 with our Tbc slogan, Amore et Reverare. Amore et Reverare. Love and respect. Love and respect. It is based on these two very important words in life of a human being that the Tbc admin founded this God-inspired platform on which our vision, our society, the Crinkle Society, Crinkle Contract Society mission and vision is to eradicate poverty worldwide, globally, and to usher in abundance so that the human being, the greatest of all the creations of God, should live happily and with respect. This has eluded us so far because a few wicked people, a few very bad, evil people have cornered the wealth of the world, or the system in which wealth is created. They've cornered it, dominated it, and enslaved all of us. And they want to continue that enslavement. They want to continue that process. But God, in His infinite mercy and justice, because He wants everybody to have the same opportunity, the same space, the same happiness, has brought in the Tbc admin, who came up with this wonderful idea of eradicating poverty worldwide with a mission. The mission is, and vision is to eradicate poverty worldwide and utter abundance. He does this with a currency called the billion coins, a cryptocurrency that is quite different from all the cryptocurrencies that are existing so far. The first cryptocurrency was the Bitcoin, and then there are many of them, hundreds of them now. All of them have also been cornered by these elites, and they are now controlling all these cryptocurrencies. Initially, I'm sure the creator of Bitcoin never intended it to be an instrument in the hands of the wealthy, the elite, the ones that are dominating the fiat currencies that are already existing, that have been existing for millions of years and have been used to enslave the human being. It was not his intention that this should happen. But unfortunately, because he did not do his basic job properly, he did not go into the laws of the world, the laws of the elite, to know exactly how to make sure that this Bitcoin does not enter their hands. So now, unfortunately, they have now taken over the Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies. They're even creating their own cryptocurrencies now to continue the stranglehold on human beings. Facebook is about to launch its own, which will be in the hands of the elite, the world banks, the banks that are controlling the 98% of our world economy and wealth. Facebook is intentionally going to do that. So we, the poor masses, the 98% of the world that are downtrodden, admin has founded the TBC for us, and he has grounded it legally and lawfully by making it a private peer-to-peer currency. And the owners of the currency are the members of the community of TBC, which is a private society, a private contract society. So gentlemen, this is clear. Now, I want to really go into this private society thing, taking up from where Mr. Abundance stopped on his 004 broadcast that I listened today morning. So let me share my my screen now. Why is my screen so small? So I share my screen so that we go to the blog. You remember the blog is our daily education system. What's happening now? I want to share the screen. So we'll go to the blog. So here we are at the blog that admin posted today. If you're a Tibetian, you have to go to the blog every day to read and listen to what admin posts here, because here he posts things that are very relevant to Tibetians and to the TBC community. Either his own instruction directly or broadcasts from fellow members of the TBC community that he thinks is relevant to our progress in TBC. This one is raising your level of excitement about TBC will raise your success in it. Yes, this one is from M. Derek, one of the voices of TBC and the host of the English Sempotting meetings on Monday, who has also a coaching institution that he hosts on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8 p.m. West African time. So he's explaining that the level of success in TBC is proportional to your level of excitement about TBC. If you're not excited about TBC and the progress and what's happening in TBC, you cannot stand before people and convince them to join TBC. You can only do that when you are yourself convinced, when you believe, you have faith in TBC, and you are excited and you are very happy about what's happening in TBC, then you can stand before people and talk to them with conviction, and they will see the excitement and conviction in you, and they will follow you. So that is what Derek is teaching members of his coaching class, and that is true, and that means has posted it because it is absolutely true that without excitement, without being convinced yourself, without believing in what you are talking about, you cannot convince another person. So please watch these videos. They are very, very important. Now, this is the price of Bitcoin heading to 100,000 in 2019. Yeah, this is an article. You see, the blog is a place for education. It doesn't only educate you about the TBC, it educates you about the financial situation in the world generally. What I know about finance now generally is from my knowledge acquired in TBC through the blog and through the broadcast of fellow TBCians and going to attend the Sempotting meetings every Mondays. So people are talking that the Bitcoin will rise up to $100,000 for one Bitcoin. And the question is, why is it going to rise to that? I've gone through that article. It's because you have institutional investors, big banks, heavy individuals, very rich individuals, the elite. They are now they've captured the Bitcoin. They've now taken over Bitcoin and they want to raise the value to this 100,000. And how do they do that? They create an artificial scarcity of Bitcoin. Public cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is a public cryptocurrency. That's why I cannot compare it with our private TBC, the Billion Coin. Now, when these elites, the same way they are manipulating the fiat currencies, now they are manipulating the cryptocurrencies, the public cryptocurrencies, except one and only one, and that's TBC. That's the only one they cannot manipulate. That's the only one their hands cannot get at. Now they're manipulating it. They're creating artificial scarcity now. So the price will rise. You remember the law of demand and supply. When the demand is higher than supply, the price rises. But when the supply is higher than demand, the price falls. In TBC, the price does not fall. The price rises because it's based on the human beings that join TBC, men and women. Our price never goes down. That's why we are always after people who are discounting our very valuable currency, the TBC. You cannot discount it. So it was fluctuating. I have some TBC, I had some Bitcoin. I have some Bitcoins. Suddenly now their prices are rising because they are creating a scarcity. I just want to buy some Bitcoins that I will use to pay for the recruits I'm bringing in now for the admin fee. The price has risen. Instead of 61 naira for $1 to buy the Bitcoin, they are charging now 383. 383, you can see different from 60, 70, 80, 20 something naira. It's just too much. So that is what the elites are doing to all of us. They are manipulating the system. They are using it to enslave us, to cage us again. And all these cryptocurrencies are falling into their hands. So ladies and gentlemen, our only way of escape is TBC. Let's make it happen. Let's get to our target of 1 billion people by November 2019. Mr. Abundance, Steve Williams, is pleading with admin to allow our currency to become fluid, our TBC to become fluid by 30th of November this year, so that we don't get into the turbulence that will arise when Facebook launches their own Bitcoin cryptocurrency next year. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the situation. So another topic is on the blog is a Filipino broadcast meeting. Yeah, let me quickly show you the broadcast meeting. I think that is the first they're having in Philippines, and a lot of them gathered, the broadcasters gathered in Philippines. That's very interesting. You can see that at TBC. TBC host. Ngayong gabi po, nagkakaroon kami ng podcast. So you can see, TBC is going places. TBC is going places. Nothing can stop us. TBC has come to stay. Anybody sitting on the fence now will have himself to blame when the time comes. And then there will be a conference in July 24th to 25th in Philippines. Admin is taking part in organizing that because he's sending Mr. Mbederik and Ash Fletcher, the heavy hitter in Philippines. Mbederik and Ash Fletcher are going to be speakers in that conference, guest speakers. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can imagine how wonderful it will be. We want this to happen everywhere in the world. We want this to happen in Nigeria. We should be able to work so hard that we begin to have heavy hitters like Cameroon and the Philippines are having now. We have our Dr. Adiche, Dr. Victor Adiche. He's also a heavy hitter. So we hope that we should have a broadcasters meeting to a conference here in Nigeria to publicize TBC more. Yes, with what I'm planning now, by the time I've set Lagos on fire with TBC, admin will really see reason why it should also allow us to have broadcast conference here and invite guest speakers like Derek. I very much want our big friend and brother, Randy Wilson, and Stephen Coffey to come to Nigeria and help us to really get to every nook and cranny of the country. So here is Mbe Derek breaking through. It's amazing. Mbe Derek was able last week to come first with 181 recruits in 1 week. That was amazing. So he explained how he did it. First and foremost, you have to believe. Belief is stronger than education. It's stronger than knowledge. If you have knowledge and you don't believe in what you're talking about or what you're doing, your knowledge is of no use. Then you have Mbe trying to encourage the French communities to become heavy hitters, to increase their participation in the Bitcoin contest. So this is what I want to talk to everybody about now. And that is about excitement, about Mr. Abundance. Mr. Abundance is the one blazing the trail of trying to convince the admin that we should get into our economic phase on the 30th of November 2019, not in March 2020. I quite agree with him. I quite agree with him because a lot of people, a lot of us have not understood what private society means and what public means, what private, the difference between private and public. Many of us have not understood it. Now, I want to go a little bit in another direction from what Mr. Abundance has been saying about private and public, and what the way admin has explained it to us. You remember we have articles, public notices about how TBC has become legal and lawful. It has become legal and lawful because the Pantera de Oro is the highest court of our private community, and they have gotten us that private status that no country, no government has any power over us. We are purely private, we are privately regulated, we settle our disputes, if any, in our own court. So we don't need any other public or government to control us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the whole world the way it is balkanized now. We have China, we have India, we have United States of America, we have Ghana, we have Cameroon, we have Nigeria, we have Australia, we have, name it, we have all these countries. Now, look at these countries, irrespective of their population. We have Lithuania, we have countries like Switzerland, whose population is 7 million people. We have Holland, whose population is 17 million people. We have countries whose population are only thousands of people. And now we have TBC community with active members, verifiable members of 3.3 million. Now, if you compare our population with all these other countries, you see that if we were together in one place, we are qualified and it is legitimate that we should be a country of our own. Gentlemen, I have to stop. I have to stop sharing my screen so I can talk properly. So let me get back to so now if you compare all these countries with our population, we are already bigger than some countries that are independent, all these countries are private. They are private in the sense that they are self-regulating, they are self-governing, and they have their own economies. Take United States of America, for example. They have their own economy and they're using their currency called dollars. If you come to Nigeria, Nigeria is independent and they call their own currency Naira and Kobo. You go to Ghana, the same. You go to Cameroon, the same. You go to China, the same. You go to Japan, the same. All of them are independent, self-regulating, self-governing economies. So we are qualified and legitimately so to have our own economy. Now, if you look at these countries, their currencies are only legal within their own boundaries, within their own private societies. United States of America is a private society. For you to come and join them, you have to obtain visa, and they give you all sorts of conditions for you to join their country. So let our divisions begin to understand exactly why they should make sure our own economy takes off immediately. The 31st or 30th November, for me, is already very far. But notwithstanding, we have to follow admin because he has the vision and he knows exactly what he's doing. And he's a man of a great ingenuity. He's a genius. We have to follow him, but we are asking him to bring down the time of our economy taking off to 30th of November, the way Abundance has proposed it. Now, gentlemen, we are in our own jurisdiction. We have our highest court, the Pantero de Oro. We have our chief judge there. We are self-regulating, we are independent, we are peer-to-peer like every other country. In America, you use your money. If you want to come to Nigeria with dollars, you have to change it to Naira, which is Nigerian own peer-to-peer currency. You want to go to Japan, you have to change to their own money. I've forgotten the name of their own money now. You want to go to Russia, you have to change to their own currency. The same way, if you want to enter into TBC community, you have to join us with your own fiat currency. You convert and buy our own crinkle or coins, and then you join us and you thrive in our own economy. So we are legitimate, we are legally founded, and we have the God-given right to exist And we are now existing legally and lawfully, and nobody can do anything about it. But we are still not understanding what we are doing. That is why we are not able to go out and convince and recruit people en masse, because they would like to join our own country too. Our own country is the TBC country. Our own money is the crinkles. And our own country is the best because everybody there will be living in abundance. There will be no poverty in our own country. We have created our own economy where nobody will be poor. As long as you are working and doing your economic transactions in TBC, you shall never be poor, because the currency is made in such a way that is for abundance. So let us understand that all these other countries, as they are all private communities, they are all private societies. And they are guided by their laws, and we have our own laws of operation. Nobody can discount our money can never go down. That is our law. The only difference is that we are not all living in one place, because we are a universal organization. We are a worldwide society. We are the biggest society in the world, gentlemen. We are the most important society in the world because we have no restrictions of any kind. We have no color restriction. We have no religious restriction. We have no boundary restriction. We are just universal. And we talk with one voice and we use one currency, the crinkles. Excuse me. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, we should understand that we have our own economy. We are already existing. Our economy is already existing. We only need to become merchants. Every one of us should be able to offer one or two services. That is why we have all these institutions in TBC to teach you how to cash flow. And for you to cash flow, you have to have knowledge of finance. You have to have knowledge of how to recruit. You have to have knowledge of how to talk. You have to have knowledge of how to negotiate. All these you learn in TBC community. There's no community in the world that teaches you all these things free of charge. Mbe Derek is doing this regularly. Randy Wilson is doing this. All the broadcasters are doing this. So, gentlemen and ladies, there's no going back. Let us put everything we have on this now. But please, as you are recruiting, educate them properly on our fundamental principles. No discounting, no cheating, honesty, integrity. Teach them how to cash flow. Teach them how to recruit. Teach them how to talk. Teach them how to broadcast. We need more broadcasters in all the languages of the world. Not only these few ones that are known to people, French, English, Spanish, and all that. We have the Igbo language, you have the Yoruba language, you have the Efik. We have all these languages, and TBC admin has said he wants broadcasters in all these languages, because we are a community of the whole world, a community of all the languages in the world. Every language in the world belongs to TBC. So we should be able to broadcast and educate our people in all our languages. So please, every TBCian is expected to become a broadcaster, because it is when you become a broadcaster that you begin to know the the internal mechanism and functioning of TBC. It is that time then you can go down to your own native language, speak it and educate your people properly, because you have to be knowledgeable in TBC. TBC gives you knowledge. And to acquire that knowledge, you need teachers, and the teachers are the broadcasters. So, ladies and gentlemen, you must become a broadcaster if you're a TBCian. And as they are coming in, please teach them how to become broadcasters. Teach them how to communicate, broadcast, negotiate, because it is through negotiations we'll be able to bring in the merchants. I've said it before that all of us should be merchants. All of us must be merchants, because for you to exchange goods and services among yourselves, you must be able to offer something to somebody. So, and when you are able to offer something to somebody, you are a merchant. So, our population now, the 3-point-something million, growing faster. I'm sure by now we're getting up to 4 million membership. That is verified members. Remember, we have more than 50 million quasi-members, I will call them, members that are not verified yet, because they've not paid the admin fee. They've not gotten their wallets. So, everybody must become a merchant. But please, as we are recruiting, and we are supposed to recruit fast now, the momentum is high. The excitement is at the peak. It's burning. I'm burning here. I cannot even sit down, because as soon as I finish broadcasting, I'm working on my flyer, because I want to take Lagos by storm. By the end of this month, beginning of next month, I will take Lagos by storm, because my flyers, all my office, I'm trying to rent an office now and employ my people, and we shall go out and take Lagos head on. Head on, we put Lagos on fire with TBC. By next month, July, there's nobody in Lagos that will not have heard about TBC. I will even try to go on the radios to get interviews on the radios and publicize TBC. So, ladies and gentlemen, the game is on. Mr. Abundance, you say the game is over. Yes, the game is over. We want to get into our economic stage now. But for us to recruit, the game is on. It's highly on. The competition is on. The Bitcoin contest is there for us to win. Gentlemen, if you recruit 1,000 people within 1 month, you earn up to $17,000. Kai, people in Nigeria, please, can you convert $17,000 to Naira? $1,000 is around 380,000 now, as we're talking. Almost 400,000. So multiply 400,000 by 17,000 and see how many millions you're talking about. You earn this in 1 month, ladies and gentlemen. What are you talking about? You are off from squalor and poverty. So please, my fellow Nigerians, recruit those our brothers and sisters that are jobless now and teach them how to market TBC. And then let them earn from it. Let's take Nigeria head on and make sure the 200 million people that we are, everybody must have heard of TBC. And when the game will be on, they will just have themselves to blame for not joining at the appropriate time, because it's only now that you can join and acquire the Krenkos chip. The price of TBC is rising. One TBC coin is over $9 million as we're talking now. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can imagine what it will be by November 30th, as we are proposing to get into our economic phase. you will not be able to acquire one TBC coin. But now, if you pay only $100 now, for which you get around 12 crinkles, by the time of redemption in November, you will be able to have one full coin of TBC, which will be worth billions of dollars. So, ladies and gentlemen, the ball is in our court. We should stop holding ourselves down. We have a lot of these coins. We are billionaires and millionaires, and we are still working on food. We are still not being able to feed ourselves 3 times in a day. Our children are still attending these public schools that are of no use. Just because we are holding ourselves down, we are not doing the job we're supposed to do. We are not going all out to recruit people and bring them into TBC so that we get to our destination quickly, and all the coins will have become fluid, and you become a billionaire or a millionaire as you have made yourself by working in TBC. So, gentlemen, the game is on. We are on, and nothing, and I repeat, nothing can stop us. We are advised to keep to 30 minutes because others are broadcasting too. Thank you for listening to my broadcast. But remember, this is our distribution phase. Go out and give people the free gift of 250 cookies, which will 25,000 cookies, which will give them 250 crinkles on redemption in November. And that is a lot of money. A lot of money by November this year. And as of now, it's worth over $2,000. So please, the game is on. Don't sit on the fence anymore. The time is over. Let it help us to help you. Help yourself by going out and recruiting people, cash flowing, so that our money in our wallets will become liquid and will become the real millionaires we are. Thank you very much. God bless you. See you again.